She didn't want love, she wanted access. Noah didn't question why someone like Valerie would be interested in him. 6 months out of a decade-long relationship, still living in a half-furnished apartment with moving boxes serving as end tables, he wasn't exactly in his prime. But Valerie saw something in him, more so he believed, when she appeared at his regular coffee shop, striking up conversation about the obscure philosophy book he was reading. "That's one of my favorites," she'd said, her eyes lingering on the cover before meeting his with unexpected warmth. Hardly anyone appreciates Kierkegaard these days. Their connection unfolded with unsettling perfection. Her messages arrived with the right balance of interest and independence. Her questions delved into exactly the areas where he felt most understood. Her insights mirrored his own emerging thoughts with such precision that it felt cosmic, as if they were operating from the same consciousness. "I've never experienced this level of connection," she confessed on their third date, reaching for his hand across the table. "It's like you have access to parts of me I usually keep hidden." Noah felt the same scene in ways his ex never managed despite their years together. What he couldn't have known was that this feeling wasn't synchronicity but strategy. Valerie hadn't stumbled upon his favorite coffee shop by accident. The book hadn't caught her by chance. His social media had provided a detailed map of his movements, preferences, and psychological terrain long before she'd ever approached. The courtship progressed with calculated momentum. Not too fast to trigger suspicion, not too slow to lose momentum. When she suggested meeting his closest friends after 6 weeks, it seemed natural rather than premature. When she expressed interest in his financial consulting work, it registered as genuine curiosity rather than information gathering. "I love watching you think through problems," she'd say when he explained complex aspects of his work, her attention never wavering. "You have such a unique perspective on systems." His best friend Marcus noticed at first the subtle shifts in Noah's decision-making, the way certain conversations became off-limits, how often Valerie's opinions were quoted as the final word on matters. "Don't you think things are moving fast?" Marcus ventured during a rare moment alone. "You barely knew she existed 3 months ago, and now she's helping you decide whether to take the Singapore project." Noah had dismissed the concern, interpreting it as jealousy or resistance to change. What he perceived as Valerie's supportive nature, her interest in every aspect of his life, her desire to meet everyone in his circle, her suggestions about his career moves felt like investment rather than investigation. The first concrete warning appeared for months in, when Noah received a notification of a login attempt to his investment account from an unrecognized device. The second came when his assistant mentioned that someone claiming to be his partner had called the office asking for his travel schedule while he was in a meeting. "I was just worried about you," Valerie explained when confronted about the call, tears forming perfectly on cue. "You've been so stressed lately, and I wanted to plan a surprise." The explanation satisfied him temporarily, but activated a new awareness. Noah began noticing patterns: how Valerie positioned herself near his laptop when he entered passwords, her casual questions about his family's assets, her interest in meeting his wealthy clients. Most telling was her reaction when he established small boundaries, the subtle coldness that would descend when access was denied, quickly replaced by warmth when pathways reopened. The pivotal moment came unexpectedly. Noah arrived home early from a business trip to find Valerie in his home office, his financial documents spread across the desk, his computer open to his password manager. She hadn't heard him enter over the sound of the scanner capturing images of his most sensitive information. "I can explain," she began, but for the first time, Noah could see clearly through the performance to the calculation beneath. In the painful clarity that followed their separation, Noah pieced together the true narrative. Valerie had targeted him specifically, a recently divorced financial consultant with high net worth clients, no children, limited family connections, and a history of long-term commitment. His psychological profile suggested someone who valued intellectual connection above all else, who would interpret intense mirroring as profound understanding. What made the deception so effective wasn't just its elaborate construction, but its partial truth. Valerie hadn't feigned every interest or fabricated every response. The most dangerous manipulations always contain elements of authenticity, just enough truth to make the tactical feel organic, enough genuine engagement to disguise the strategic objective. Love had never been the goal, it had merely been the vehicle. The target wasn't his heart, but what it could provide access to: his financial information, his client network, his professional reputation, his home, his passwords, his complete trust. Romance was simply the most efficient means of bypassing his normal security systems, both emotional and practical. 6 months after the relationship ended, Noah received a call from a colleague in another firm, warning him that someone matching Valerie's description had begun dating their recently divorced senior partner. Different name, same methodology. How do you protect yourself from something like this? Noah asked his therapist, still struggling to reconcile the connection he'd felt with the calculation behind it. By understanding that true intimacy develops gradually through consistent revelation of character, not through immediate perfect understanding, she replied. Authentic love expands your world rather than becoming its center. It creates space rather than requiring constant access. The healing came slowly, rebuilding trust not just in others but in his own perceptions. The experience had taught him that discernment wasn't about suspicion, but about pacing, about recognizing that genuine connection doesn't demand immediate access to every aspect of life. In time, Noah came to understand the most crucial difference between manipulation and authentic connection. True love is patient enough to earn access rather than expect it, secure enough to respect boundaries rather than test them, and honest enough to be seen gradually rather than presenting a too perfect reflection from the start.